Hey everyone, I've just finished watching the F2 Sprint Race in the Monaco Grand Prix for 2025. I've got a few reactions for a few things, so let's get straight into it. Firstly, Browning, bad getaway into the starting on the front row, so he went down to I think it was like fifth in the first lap, which is not great. But after a few collisions with Crawford and stuff, he moved up to fourth, and then with the penalty to Lindblad, ultimately moved up to 10th. I feel like he'll accept that given he had a bad getaway, a podium is still a fine performance, and he showed fine pace. I mean, he got a bit lucky with the Lindblad penalty, but I mean, these things happen. A bit of bad luck at the start, a bit of good luck in the first lap. So it'll swings and roundabouts. But then we had the big incident on the first lap with Crawford being in contact with Lindblad. Lindblad sent it down the inside of like the sixth or seventh corner, kind of ruining Crawford's race, moving him from third down to like fifth. Uh, a rough time for Crawford. I mean, there was nothing he could do. He just got sent one down the inside. He lost his front winning end plate due to Lindblad's move. Lindblad kept third position, moving up from fourth. Um, that meant that Lindblad ultimately got a 10-second penalty, which was a bit interesting. It added some spice to the race, which was going to be a bit boring. So I'm not against it, but it made it so that his race engineers told him to move 10 seconds back, and then ultimately he had to try and go into that 10-second gap to leave the guys behind him behind and keep those points. Ultimately, he did that and had like 8 laps left to kind of go into that gap, but then Mini, who was all over the back of Miney the whole race, between 0.3 and 0.4 seconds, he dropped off for some weird reason. So Lindbergh caught up to him and had like a 5 second gap behind him and a 5 second gap ahead of him to Miney. It was those two kind of hassling each other, trying to go faster. So Lindbergh trying to make Mini go faster, and Mini trying to say, actually, I don't need to go any faster. I'm 5 second. I'll be defensive. Interesting display. I think ultimately Mini's race performance made Lindblad lose a point and getting 8th instead of 7th, which was very on the cards given his pace that we saw in the last kind of lap 22 to lap 26. Lindblad had a lot of pace. Not as much pace as Martins, though, who got hit by Oliver Goeth. Middle of the race, right into the wall. It was a terrible move by Goeth. His second of the day. Goeth made a move early on Dirksen, which also put Dirksen into the wall and ruined his race. But Dirksen retired, which caused a mid-race safety car. But this happened after the safety car. Goeth hit Martins into the wall on the second class corner. Martins got his front wing end plate bust off, pitted to get a new end plate, and did what we saw one of the F3 drivers do, basically just have a practice session in the back of the pack, a couple of laps down, and just tune their car for the feature race tomorrow. So Martin's ultimately a bit unlucky, but he got a bit of practice in, and will be starting on the front row tomorrow. He can hopefully get a good result then. Other stuff happened. Shields was hit by Villagomez a long way out, which kind of ruined Shields' race. He had to go down the runoff and then ended up turning around and going back into the pits, given he had damage. I think Dirksen also retired with the damage, as we mentioned before, which causes the safety car midway through the race. Didn't really change much, There's a little bit of hustle and bustle here after that safety car, but ultimately no change. John Bennett hit the wall a little bit, kind of back tyre into the first corner after the pit straight, and wrecked his suspension. He still made it all the way around to the pit entry, but yeah, just rookies doing rookie things, I guess. Yeah, overall, there was not much kind of opportunity for overtakes, and when we saw them, it likely got followed by either damage or a penalty. So I think that speaks to the tyre differential needed in Monaco to actually get a move done. I mean, the penalties that were applied, 10-second penalties, if this happens for the other series too, I think this will kind of reinforce drivers being cautious about making those moves, because that ruins your race. 10-second penalty, especially in these spec series with all the same cars, it puts you almost at the back of the field, especially given the likelihood of safety cars being in the pack all together, so you move even further behind. So yeah, without any kind of pit stops, different strategy, tyre differential, Monaco becomes a very boring race. So hopefully the races tomorrow, we can see a bit more different strategy, early pit stops, long pit stops, all that kind of fun stuff, and that'll make the race a lot more enjoyable. But either way, we had Miney taking the win with Mini and Browning behind him, with Lindblad ultimately falling to 8th. Fornaroli, 7th, is the only driver so far to score points at every single race weekend, so congrats. Again, thank you for watching this video. It's a new style of video, so let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, who you think is going to win the feature race, and what you thought of the sprint race. Let me all know down in the comments below. Subscribe and like this video if you like this kind of content. Again, thanks for watching. Peace.